Hello, everybody out there in Rumble, Lex, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love. That movie that you love so much, I don't love it. I think it's a piece of crap, and I'm going to tell you why. This movie, it endorses a lot of things that are just not right. Okay, it praises selfishness. It praises life is about getting what you want, on your timetable. Okay. Basically, it's whatever I want, I deserve to have, and therefore I'm going to get it. Okay. One way or another, no matter what I have to do to get there. Okay. It makes it look like being selfish is a virtue. Okay. You see what I mean? That having to live a normal life with adversity, with problems, the stuff that everyone out there, that most people out there have to deal with every single day, that is beneath you. Okay. You deserve better than that. Okay. If you think that you deserve better than that, then you deserve better than that. Okay. So go get it done. You see what I mean? It romanticizes the idea of that. Now, there's nothing wrong with going out there and getting what's yours. There's nothing wrong with going out there and, living your dreams and trying to make your dreams come true. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, okay? The problem is when you already have done things, okay, that, require your attention, okay? For example, if you're a woman and you've been married for 10 years and you've got like 2 kids and stuff, and you start looking at these commercials on social media about going to Italy and eating and nightclubbing and stuff, and you're just like, you know what? I hate my house. I hate my husband. No one appreciates me as a mom. I'm tired of it. So I think I'm just going to get up and go to Italy for like 6 months and just, eat a lot of food and have a lot of sex and, fuck my husband, if he really loves me, he'll wait for me. And if he doesn't, then fuck him. I deserve better, and I'll take care of my kids when I goddamn feel like it. He can take care of the kids for a change, just stuff like that. Okay. I'm just going to go do it. And if he doesn't understand it, well, then that sucks to be him. You see what I mean? And that would be praised and applauded. Yes, that's right. Go live your best life. Do you live your truth? All that kind of crap. Okay. That's what this movie's telling you. Okay. The fact that our main character, Liz Gilbert, is just this narcissistic piece of crap of a woman. Okay. Who just is so freaking entitled that she struggles. Like, for her, living in a beautiful house in Manhattan, with a well-to-do husband, having a professional career with no children to have to take care of, having friends who are also rich and professionals, they own townhouses and stuff, they work in corporate America in New York, they can afford to fly to Indonesia whenever they feel like it, they can do stuff like that. Okay. Living that type of a life, for her, that's not good enough. Nope. I want more. I deserve more. Okay. People like this are never going to be happy, no matter what you get. Even if they manage to get these things that they say they want so bad, they're never going to be happy, because no one is ever happy all the time. Okay. No one ever gets every single thing that they want. Okay, happiness is an inside job. It's not based on external. It's not based on whether or not your husband is good looking enough and earns enough money. It's not based on whether you have a life where you can go all over the world anytime you want. Okay, it's not based on whether you get to taste the finest foods in the world. Okay, or you've been to the best Hindu yogis in the world. Okay, that's not what real life is. Okay, that's not what makes you happy. Okay. Happiness is internal. Okay. Happiness starts with gratitude. It starts with being grateful for what you do have. Okay. You don't see these people if you ever go to like these like small villages in India, okay, where the people have very little to eat. Okay. No internet, no plumbing. But these people are happy. You know why? Because the little bit of food they do get to eat, okay, they enjoy it. Okay, the time they spend with their families, working the fields or whatever they're doing, okay, they enjoy it. They are content. They are happy for what they have. Okay, because they've known lots of people that had even less than them. Okay, but something like that would never fly in America because we're all a bunch of spoiled brats over here. And movies like this are all about selling you a fantasy. They're selling you this perfect life, the life that you don't have, that you wish you had. Okay, they're trying to sell that to you. So here, pay your money, buy a ticket to this movie so that you can experience it too. You can experience how the other half lives. That kind of a thing, okay? And therefore you're going to want that for yourself. So fuck the bullshit life you have and go out there. You see what I mean? There are people that do this in real life. Obviously, this is based on a true story. This is Liz Gilbert's journey. She wrote an article called Coyote Ugly, which they turned into a movie. That was based on her experiences working as a cocktail waitress in a bar. And I've never seen that movie, but apparently she falls in love with some dude at the end of it. Well, guess what? That dude that she fell in love with, okay, that's the guy she's married to in the beginning of this movie, okay, who she very quickly divorces. Not because he cheated on her or he beat her up or he stole her money. No. She divorced him because he didn't want to pay for a vacation to go to Aruba. Because he was thinking about going back to school and getting his master's, and maybe becoming a teacher. And for her, that just ain't going to fly. Okay, she deserves the best. You see what I mean? The fact that she goes on vacation to other countries without him already, that was established in the first minute of the movie. Okay, but that was the last straw when he refused to underwrite her trip to Aruba. So she divorces him, okay, because she wants more out of life. She wants to party. She wants to go to vacation. She wants to fuck young guys, okay? She doesn't want to be tied down to some dude, okay? Some guy her own age. You know what I mean? Even though they just bought a house together and stuff, she doesn't want that anymore, okay? She deserves better than that. She wants to have a lot of sex. She wants to eat a lot of food. She wants to do a lot of meditations. And she wants to travel the world while doing it, okay? Because that's the dream. And I understand it's a fantasy for a lot of women. You know what, ladies? It's a fantasy for us too. But you don't see any goddamn movies made about that, do you? You know how many guys out there would love to just fucking ditch their wives? Okay, so they can go surfing all over the fucking world one long endless summer and just fuck a lot of babes? You think guys don't want to do that too? You think you're the only ones? But you ain't gonna see a movie about that, are you? And if they did make it, they wouldn't praise that. No, hell no. That guy's just an immature asshole. He's so fucking mature. He's so insecure. He can't even handle anything. He's so gross and disgusting. Oh my God, he's right here dating all these young women. That's disgusting. He's like a pedophile. You see what I mean? But when women do it, it's like, oh my God, she's so brave. Oh, you get yours, girl. Go get yours, girl. You deserve it. You see what I mean? You see the bullshit here? Okay. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say that this movie is probably the reason a lot of the divorce rate skyrocketed. Because also all these women, these white, rich, liberal women all over the country just realize all of a sudden that they deserve better than their husbands. They deserve better than their bullshit life, their mediocre paycheck. You see, they deserve nothing but the best because that's what they deserve. They don't have to do anything to get that. They're just born that way. So they deserve it. That means they deserve it. You see what I mean? And this movie perpetuates that. Okay? Starts feeding you this crap. And it's a lot of shit. Can you imagine a movie where like some average looking guy, with a mediocre job, mediocre intelligence, mediocre everything, fashion sense, a mediocre apartment and all that stuff, okay? But yet, all of a sudden, all these like supermodel, like porn star looking women are just falling in love with him left and right. Can you imagine a movie like that? Okay? You know why you don't see a movie like that? Because it's bullshit. But you flip that around and give that and sell that to women, oh boom, it makes $500 million. It's so progressive. Finally, a movie that addresses what women want. Bitch, every fucking movie in Hollywood addresses what you want. There are no movies in Hollywood that are made for men anymore. None. Why do you think Hollywood's going bankrupt? They're not making anything for men. That's why men aren't spending their goddamn money. That's why Hollywood is going bankrupt. That's why it's happening. You fucking got rid of 50% of your audience right there by deciding that it was okay just to treat men like shit, to not make movies for us because we don't matter. Oh, you want our money, you just don't want to make movies that we want. You see what I mean? That's not how capitalism works. You see what I mean? And this movie is a big part of that problem. You know, why is it? Have you ever noticed every time they make a relationship movie, it's always from the woman's point of view? You ever notice that? It's never from the man. Like the men in relationships, what their feelings, you know, it doesn't count. What they want doesn't count. It's all about what the woman wants. Now, how the fuck is that equality? Feminists, how the fuck is that fair? How about a movie that takes into consideration what both parties want? You're never going to fucking see that. I have a segment on my channel here called Chick Flicks for Men. You want to watch, there are a few movies that were made that are in this genre, but they were made for men. Okay, the man is the main character. It's about what a man's going through. Okay, like you put a real man in a fucking chick flick world. How is he going to act? How is he going to react? What's he going to think about? What is he trying to do? What does he want? What is he looking for in a woman? What's his checklist for a change? You see what I mean? It's on here. It's called Chick Flicks for Men. I highly recommend you pick a movie on there and watch what I said about it, okay? Or watch the movie that I'm reviewing, okay? Because those movies tell it what it's like from a man's point of view, okay? Because these movies don't, okay? These movies are just fuck all men, and you're a queen, And I'm sorry, you can say that all you want. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't fucking make it true, okay? All right. So where we left off last time, what do you call it? Liz Gilbert. Yes, that's the name of the author that wrote the book, of this. This is her experience. She asked her publisher, gave her an advance to write a new book. And so she spent that money traveling the world, eating, praying, and fucking. Okay. So anyway, yeah, so she wrote the book and they based the movie on this book. So Julia Roberts is playing Liz Gilbert, okay, in this movie. Okay, so Liz tells her husband, I want a divorce. I don't want to be married anymore. She got on her knees and prayed to the God that she doesn't believe in, okay, because she's never prayed before. She didn't even believe in God. Okay, of course she doesn't believe in God. She's a fucking New York liberal, okay? Find one fucking Christian in that group. You ain't going to find any. So she prayed to God but she wanted God to forgive her for breaking her husband's heart. And she knew she was going to fucking do it, but she's acting like she's the victim. Like, oh, God, please help me, God. No, you're not the victim here. You're about to victimize someone. And she wants to be absolved of it. Okay? So that's going on. So she decides she wants to divorce her husband. Okay, Liz goes to a local bookstore, because they have a lot of those in New York, to buy a bunch of self-help books. Okay, and of course, the lady at the register is looking at these titles, while she's ringing it up and she's making judgment calls. Looking at Liz like, hey, there's a whole section over there on divorce. If you want to go out there and get some more books, I got plenty of books on divorce, that kind of thing. Okay, because you can tell a lot about people by what books they buy, right? Okay, so that's going on here. What she does do is she does buy an Italian-English dictionary. For some reason, that just fascinates her. Women are all fucking fascinated by Italy for some fucking reason. Why? Why is that so important for all of you to go to fucking Italy? Okay? Why don't you go to fucking Somalia instead, okay? If you really want to see the world. Okay, what's so fucking special about Italy? Okay, yes, I know it's got a lot of history there and stuff. The Roman Empire came from there. I know the fashion is a big deal. So is art, the Renaissance. I get all that, okay? But for some fucking reason, every fucking woman I meet wants to go to fucking Rome. Okay, I was like, okay, well, you have fun in Rome, okay? Tell me what it's like, okay? I'll be back here fucking some other girl, okay? All right, so have a good time. Okay, because I sure as fucking gonna fucking pay for it. Okay, if I'm gonna fucking take you to Rome, bitch, okay, you better have a fucking ring on that fucking finger that I fucking put there. Okay. Anyway, so that's going on here. Anyway, so she goes to the bookstore. She practices. Okay, she moves out of her house. Okay, with her husband. She lets her husband stay in the house. Yeah, I know. Somebody called Ripley. I know. Weird, right? And she decides to crash at her best friend's house. Delia, played by what's her name? You know who? Fucking the tough black woman that's in everything. What the hell's her name? Viola Davis. Sorry, Viola Davis, the Woman King. I'm just like calling her that, the Woman King. All right. Yes. So she stays at the Woman King's house. Okay, now the Woman King, Viola Davis, Delia is her character's name, Delia Shiraz. She's married to a big, fat, tall, white guy who's a dumbass and a beta male and a closeted homosexual. Okay, and they have a baby together. Okay, she had a newborn. Okay, so Julia just decided that it's perfect family to be your fucking a temporary house guest. Let's just stay there. Okay, so that's what she does. Okay, and while she's in the bathtub reading her English Italian dictionary, she can overhear, for some dumbass reason, Delia and her husband Andy are standing right in front of the door to the bathroom, and they're whispering. And of course, why the fuck, if you want to have a private conversation, why the fuck would you whisper right in front of the door, knowing that the girl you do not want to hear this is sitting right there in the goddamn bathtub? Okay, hearing everything that you're saying. It's fucking stupid. The people that make these movies don't know what the fuck they're doing. Anyway, okay, so that's going on here. Okay, what do you call it? She overhears them talking, okay, and she hears Delia and Andy whisper, okay, about her outside of the bathroom door. Like, what the fuck is that? And Andy says that Liz should get laid. After 8 years of marriage, she needs to go fuck somebody else. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure Liz already beat you to that, Andy. Okay. I'm sure that was already part of the plan. Okay. Because he tells his wife, Delia, that's what I would do. You know, if I was married for 8 years, I got divorced, first thing I'd do is get laid. This tall, bald, dumbass, fat, beta male piece of shit tells that. Okay. And his wife is like, no, you wouldn't. You tall, fat, bald, stupid, limp dick, beta male. And then he's like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't. You're right. Yeah, just like that, okay? Because that's how this movie treats men. Okay, all men are like this, by the way. Okay, it's not just this character. Okay, it's every fucking guy in this movie is a limp dick fucking beta male dumbass. Okay, who's insecure. Okay, has no fucking balls. All right, because the woman that wrote this doesn't know how to write a fucking man because she don't know what a fucking man is. Okay, because the only men she's ever fucking known have pumped and dumped her. Okay, and broken her heart. Okay, and she can't fucking deal with that. So she's got to write bullshit fiction, okay, where she's the one that breaks all the men's hearts. No one breaks her heart. You see what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, Liz and next scene, Liz and Delia are walking arm in arm like they're a couple of fucking lesbians in New York City. Okay, and Liz questions how they can still be married. How can Delia still be married to her stupid ass husband? Okay, why the fuck are you still married to that guy? Okay, that's what Liz wants to know. Okay, and Delia tells her that she needs to start writing again. Okay, she tells her, hey, when we broke up, and he decided he wanted to start a fucking wine company or some bullshit, right? You know, they're just stupid as shit like that. Okay, and then they got back together. They have no chemistry, by the way. Okay, Delia and her husband Andy have no chemistry. He's clearly a tall, fat, closeted homosexual. Okay, and she's just fucking man-hating, fucking eye-rolling, fucking insufferable fucking cunt. Okay, that's what they are. Okay, so they're perfect for the movie, but it's not believable as a couple in real life. Okay, in real life, whenever you see a couple like this, okay, no man would ever respect that husband. No real man would tolerate that wife, and no man would respect that husband. Okay, they would be shunned. They would be shunned from the fucking party. Okay, because in real life, people don't like that. Okay, in real life, people don't like being disrespected. Okay, people don't like talking to somebody who has absolutely no fucking self-esteem and can't stick up for himself. Okay, people don't like, okay, talking to women who like to be fucking sarcastic and boss around their husbands and roll their fucking eyes. Okay, and emasculate their husbands in front of other people. Okay, in real life, people don't like that. But this movie, you'd never know that from watching this movie, though. Okay, so that's going on here. Delia tells Liz that she needs to start writing again. I thought she already was doing that. What the fuck? And Liz says, like, I'll write about going to Italy to learn Italian and stuff my fat ass. I'll call it carbohydrates and conjunctions. Carbohydrates and conjugations. See how brilliant that was? And she thought of that all by herself. Anyway. So that's going on here. Okay, they go to see a bullshit fucking off-Broadway play. Okay, it's like a little theater. Okay, it's like one of those like fucking mom and pop theaters in New York. You know, these actors, they can't make it on Broadway. They can't even make it off Broadway, so they're like off Broadway. Okay, they're doing like fucking summer stock shit. Okay, these little tiny little closets with a couple of chairs, and then there's a fucking little stage up there. No scenery, no costumes, no nothing. They're just up there fucking, you know, like they're practicing. Okay, but it's an actual show. Okay, so she goes to that, and the reason they go to this little fucking theater show is because Liz wrote the fucking play. She wrote the play, so she wanted to see it performed. Okay, by two fucking third-rate actors. Okay, so she does. She goes there, and guess what? There's people walking out. I'm sure it was free to get in, but even it being free, people are getting up and walking out and saying this fucking place sucks. Okay, so you got two actors on stage. You got this unattractive woman, and you got James Franco. Okay, before he got Me Too'd and got blacklisted from Hollywood. Yeah, he was an up-and-coming leading man back in the day. Okay, right after Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movies when he played Harry Osborn. Okay, and his brother is still making movies, David Franco. Okay, but yeah, he got Me Too'd. Apparently, he had a. I mean, he went to fucking Yale and shit. Like he graduated from an Ivy League school. He opened up his own acting school, and apparently he was assaulting or propositioning or whatever. He was Harvey Weinsteining some of his students. Okay, and they decided to file complaints against him. Okay, this was the era of Me Too. Harvey Weinstein had just gotten busted, so it became a big witch hunt. Every man that ever looked at a woman for more than 2 seconds was automatically accused, and a lot of men lost their jobs, lost their careers, lost everything. Okay, people like Kevin Spacey. Okay, people like Brett Ratner, although he is trying to make a comeback. Okay, people like what's his name, Bryan Singer. Okay. People like James Franco, okay, Jeremy Piven, okay. I mean, a lot of people, all men, of course, because women don't ever do anything wrong. The only woman that got caught up in this thing was Asia Argento, and that's because it got revealed that she was having sex with an underage boy. No wonder her boyfriend, Anthony Bourdain, killed himself. Okay, he probably found out that the love of his life was sleeping with a fucking 16-year-old behind his back. No wonder he killed himself. Okay, but anyway, she's the only woman I know of that got busted. Okay, everyone else was a guy. All right, and James Franco was one of those. He's a casualty of the Me Too. Okay, yes, that happened. It wasn't that long ago. Okay, so that's going on here, but now he's in this movie because this is in 2010, before Me Too. All right, so they're there, okay, watching this bullshit show. People are walking out, okay. James Franco plays the guy named David. David is the actor. Okay, and we see Liz is getting turned on by him, despite him changing her dialogue. So she wrote the play. She knows what the words are supposed to be, but he's not reading her words. He's making up his own. He's improvising. Okay. Okay, and let me read you some of the incredible dialogue from this play. Okay, when I look into your eyes, okay, I hear dolphins clapping. If I love you, I'll give you everything. My money, my dog's money. Once I've done that, the only thing I can do is get infatuated with someone else. Yeah. Okay, well, this piece of shit. Okay, now the whole time this is going on, David is making eye contact with Julia Roberts, okay, with Liz. And Liz is just creaming herself, okay? She's just playing with that little pocket vibrator, and she's just going to town while looking at David, okay? While staring down David's sexy eyes and all that kind of crap, all right? Anyway, that's going on here. Okay, there's an after party. Yes, people there was a party for this fucking piece of shit show. Okay, so of course, you know, Liz being the writer of this play, she shows up. Okay, Liz notices David there by the bar. He's smiling at her again. So, of course, she walks up to him. Now, just so you know the little age difference here. Okay, Julia Roberts, at the time of filming this movie, she was 43 years old. Now, we do not know how old Liz Gilbert is, okay? But Julia Roberts was 43 when she filmed this movie. James Franco, okay, was 31 when he filmed this movie, okay? So do the math. That's the 12-year age difference, okay? 12-year age difference. Okay, so anyway, he apologizes to Liz, to her for the people that walked out of her play. Okay, you know, they walked out of her shitty movie. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. Did I say movie? I meant her shitty fucking play. Okay, and he apologizes for changing the dialogue. She flirts with him, of course. Okay, not telling him that she's still married. Okay, and she flirts with him by insulting how tall he is. She basically looks at him, goes like, "I thought you'd be bigger." And he's like, "You know what? Because I offended you by changing your dialogue, you have the right to insult me as much as you want, because I have no penis, I have no testicles. I'm just here so that you can emasculate me, just like all men." Like that, okay? So that's going on here. Okay, he gives her permission to insult him, is basically what he says. Okay, they end up going back to his apartment. Okay, this shitty little fucking apartment that he has. Okay, and it turns out that he's Hindu. Yes, he is Hindu. He's not Christian. Holy shit! Somebody call Ripley. Okay, a screenwriter, a writer in New York who's white and not Christian. Holy shit! God damn it. Okay, you know, you gotta be careful with that, because next thing you know, it's only gonna be like Jewish people writing these movies. We can't have that happening. Okay, anyway, so that's going on here. Yeah, he's got a lot of candles in there because he's like he thinks he's a yogi or some shit, okay? You know, like I said, he's fucking Hindu is like his thing that he uses to fucking get women. You know, he tells her, "Hey, you know what makes me special and different from every other guy? I'm Hindu. Yeah, I'm all into that stuff. Yeah, Brahma all the way, baby." You know, that kind of shit, right? Okay, apparently he went to India once. Okay, and after he threw up from the fucking food, he decided to convert to Hinduism. Okay, now like I said, the important thing is that he is not Christian. Okay, because fuck Jesus. Okay, if there's one thing, there's rule number one in Hollywood, okay, or New York in the publishing industry, fuck Jesus. There is no fuck Jesus. Okay, there is no Jesus, but if there was, fuck him. Okay, he should not exist. Okay, because everyone knows the problems with the entire fucking world is Christianity. Christianity has never done anything good. Okay, God is racist. God is homophobic. God is sexist. God is all those fucking terrible things. So quit fucking believing in Jesus. Jesus has done nothing good for civilization ever. Ever. Okay? So because he's not Christian, therefore now he's sexy. Okay, that's how it works. Okay? So anyway, okay, like I said, fuck Jesus. Okay, so, okay. Oh wait, wait a minute. Then why the fuck did Liz get on her knees and pray to Jesus then, like 5 minutes ago in the movie? Well, that makes no sense. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Okay, I guess once Jesus Christ forgives you, okay, for leaving your husband, okay, then it's okay to get rid of him. Okay, so yeah, okay, so that's what the rule, okay? It's okay to believe in Jesus, okay, if you've done a lot of shitty things and you want to be forgiven. But once you've been forgiven, then you can fucking throw Jesus away because the fucker doesn't matter, okay? He's a piece of shit. That's how it works in Hollywood, okay? All right, so that's going on here. Yeah, it's all Brahma, baby, okay? And David is a yogi from Yonkers, yeah. See that illiterate yogi from Yonkers? That's what Liz calls him. My little yogi from Yonkers. Okay, yeah, and of course they fuck. They have sex. All right, okay. Now they're dating. Okay, they're walking through Central Park hand in hand, in love and all that kind of. No, they're not in love. Okay, but not the way you think. Okay, clearly it's Liz. It's a feminist movie, so every man that she has sex with falls in love with her, but she doesn't fall in love with every man that she has sex with. See the difference? It's the power thing. She's got power over him. Okay, because every guy who's 31 immediately falls in love with a 43-year-old. Okay. All right, so they got that part right in the movie. Okay, so now they're walking hand in hand in the park. They're dating, okay, in Central Park, okay. She says in her little internal monologue that she does not love him, okay, that she had no place to put her intimate needs, so she found a place for it, okay, David. She uses the analogy of the cartoon where, like, a little cartoon character jumps off of a high dive, like he's diving, and he dives, his whole body goes into a cup of water. Okay, instead of there being a big pool, there's a cup of water. That's what she uses, okay, as a metaphor for her relationship with David, okay? Because she knows that she's a heartless, fucking controlling, selfish, narcissistic, cheating piece of shit bitch. She knows that, but she doesn't want to, know that. So if she throws all of her emotions into David, she doesn't have to think about what she's doing to Steven, her husband. You see what I mean? So she's using David to distract her heart from dealing with her guilt. Okay, as long as she's fucking David and is in love with David, then she doesn't have to think about what she did to Steven, okay? See, it's one of these tricks that women use when they want to fuck over their husbands or their boyfriends, okay? Is they tell themselves, okay, well, I'm not in love with him anymore. I'm in love with this guy now. Okay, this guy is the one, okay? Now, if she just cheats on a guy, obviously that's a bad thing and she's a fucking lying piece of shit, cheating bitch, right? But if she cheats on her husband with the one, then it was meant to be. It was supposed to happen. You see? So it's okay. You see what I mean? That's how it works. That's how it worked in The Notebook. Also, same fucking shit. Okay? That's how it worked in Titanic. Same fucking shit. Okay? So that's how it works here too, because that's how it works in real life. Okay, so David is clearly the one now for her. Therefore, she doesn't have to deal with what she did to her husband, Steven. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, she's basically telling herself that she's in love with David and experiencing all that, so she doesn't have to accept the fact that she fucked her husband over and is now cheating on him, so she won't feel guilty. Okay, yeah. That's what's going on here, okay? They end up doing, the proof that they're in love with each other is they do laundry together at the laundromat, okay? Which I thought was kind of funny because I'm from Chicago, okay? And I also had to go to a laundromat. So I know it's like to do your laundry at a laundromat, okay? I remember what that's like, okay? Okay, and so they do laundry together at the laundromat, okay? And he even folds her underwear for her. He folds her underwear, her panties, yes. And there's an ugly woman there who's also folding her clothes. And she brags to her, oh, look at that. He folded my undergarments. And the woman's like, girl, you are in trouble. Like what the fuck does that mean? So he folded her underwear. Why the fuck would he do that? Why didn't she stop him? Why didn't she just fold her own fucking underwear? Anyway, that's going on here. I have no idea what that meant, though, being in trouble. Okay, so they go to the Mandirs. Okay, they go to a Mandirs. Did you know what that is? Because I didn't either. I had to look it up. Mandirs are a Hindu temple. Okay, that's where the Hindus go to worship Brahma. It's called a Mandirs. That's where they chant shit. They're sitting cross-legged and lifting their hands up in the air and chanting all sorts of weird shit. Okay. So she does that with David, okay? Okay, later on, okay, she runs into her husband Steven in an elevator, okay? They're going to finalize the divorce, okay? So she goes to the building with her attorney, okay, to do the mediation for the divorce, okay? Of course, in the elevator, she bumps into Steven, her husband, okay? But Steven does not have an attorney with him, okay? Steven, of course, okay, is a total fucking idiot. Okay, because he is representing himself. He doesn't even have a lawyer, okay? He's representing himself, and he tells Liz that he did one semester at law school, so he's going to represent himself, okay? Because all men are fucking idiots in this movie, okay? There's not one man who knows what the fuck is going on, because they can't have a guy like that in this movie, because that would scare them. It would fucking scare them that there's actually a competent man who knows what the fuck he's doing. Okay, you can't have that in a fucking rom-com. You cannot have that in a chick flick because that would automatically make the women look inferior, and you can't have that. Okay, men have to be stupid. Men have to be cowards. Men have to be unattractive. It's only the women that can be strong, tough, independent, and beautiful. Okay, although the beautiful part is debatable. All right. So that's going on here. Okay, Mr. Dumbass limp dick fucking husband of hers. Okay, who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Okay, he contests the divorce. He says, my client refuses this divorce. So, that kind of shit, all right? Now I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck, Steven, why the fuck would you want to stay with her? Why do you contest the divorce? Why do you want to save this fucking marriage, okay? What is it about this marriage that's so fucking important that you want to keep this lying, narcissistic piece of shit bitch? Okay, why do you want to hold on to her? What does she do for you that makes your life better? Or that has made your life better? What? Her personality? Because she treats you like fucking shit. She doesn't give two fucking shits about you. She rolls her eyes at you. She doesn't take you fucking seriously. You're a fucking dumbass in her eyes, and you're acting like one now. She's already fucking somebody else, so what the fuck is there to save? What is it that you want from her? What do you think she's going to give you? Even if she didn't take it back, what would she fucking give you? Okay, this is all established. This is all this bullshit done. The way they treat the men in these movies, okay, is to establish Liz as a high value woman. Okay, this movie is all about making Liz up here and the men in her life down here. See, none of the men that she comes across measure up to her. They're not on her level. They're all below her. Every single one. Thereby, because they're below her, she does not have to respect them. The problem in this movie is not that Liz can't find a guy, can't find love. The problem is no man measures up to her. That's the real problem. You see what I mean? That's the message they're telling you. No man will ever measure up to you. And because they don't, you can fuck them all over because they don't matter. Because they're not on your level. Now, in real life, when a man does this to a woman, that doesn't count. He's just a piece of shit asshole. And I hope he fucking dies. But, you know, when it's a woman doing it to a man, then it's okay. Okay? That's fine now. All right? Okay? They're trying to establish Liz as this high-value woman, which she is not. You know what high value is? A woman who's a good 20 years younger than you, Liz. Not as much of a fucking bitch. Doesn't have as big of a mouth. Is not nearly as fucking selfish and self-centered as you are. Okay? That is a high-value woman. Okay? With bigger tits and a nicer ass and a prettier face. Okay? Who isn't a fucking total shitbag. That's a high-value woman. That is not what Liz is. That's just what she wants you to think she is. That's what this movie is telling you that she is. But she's not. And I'm not a guy telling you that. I'm a fucking guy telling you that. We don't give two shits about her fucking money. Okay? What does she look like? How does she treat people? And is she fucking honest and loyal? Okay? She is none of Liz is none of these things. Therefore, she is not high value. The things that men look for in women are not the same things that women look for in men. This is the same bullshit, okay, that feminism has been doing, okay? They turn these women into fucking men, and then they wonder why men don't like them in real life. Because we don't want to date other fucking men. That's why. So, of course, Steven does the usual thing that all men do in all chick flicks. They get on their knees, and they grovel, and they plead, and they beg. You know, don't go, please. I need you so much. Like that. And that's what he does. That's what Steven does, of course. Okay, pleads for her to stay. He tells her, why couldn't you? He knows, why couldn't you just find yourself while you were still in our marriage? You know? He says, you never told me, hey, you know what? You suck and I'm unhappy. You never told me that. You never told me that you weren't happy with me. You just took off. You never gave me a chance. That's not fair. I took vows. That's just quitting. You're just a quitter. Well, he does. I mean, obviously he's saying it like a total fucking idiot, like an immature piece of shit, okay, with no balls. But he does have a point. I would have said the same thing, but I wouldn't have said it that way. I would have said like, okay, we took vows, okay, in front of God, okay. Well, she doesn't believe in God. Only when she wants something, that's when she believes. I forgot. My bad. I shouldn't have put God in there. Okay, but legally, we took vows in front of a judge, okay, and I swore to honor and love you for the rest of my life. You know, to be loyal to you. I have kept up my end. You didn't. You just out of the blue told me you don't want to be married anymore. You didn't even try to work on the relationship. You never told me there was anything wrong. I guess you expected me to read your mind, which I can't do, which nobody can do. But that's my crime. Okay? You didn't tell me you had a problem with our marriage. You didn't tell me you had a problem with me. When I asked you to marry me, you said yes. When I asked you, hey, let's buy a house together, you said yes. Okay? So how the fuck was I supposed to know there was anything wrong? You see what I mean? And he's got a point there. But see, that would be using logic. Men tend to use logic. Women don't. No offense, women. Okay? But you don't. You put your feelings ahead of logic. What you feel is what you do, not what you think. Not all. I'm not saying all women do this, okay? But I'm saying women are just more wired up to do that. They're more prone to being more loyal to their feelings rather than their words. Now, men, we want to do that. We do. Okay? But we're raised to believe that we need to be more loyal to our word than to our feelings. You see what I mean? If I promise a woman with all my heart that I am going to do the best to make her happy and to be honored, to be loyal and faithful to her for the rest of my life, I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to try harder than anything else. I'm not just going to wake up one day and go, you know what, this bitch, she's got fucking cellulite now and she's older now and there's these younger women that like me and I can't date them because I'm married to this fucking tub of shit. You know what? I'm out of here. Bye. No warning. No marriage counseling. No nothing. Just I'm out. Bye. Fuck you. Okay, that's basically what she did. But when she does it in this movie, it's good. It's a good thing. But if a man does it in the scenario I just told you, he's an asshole. You see what I mean? He's a selfish prick. Okay, that's not equality. Okay, so that's going on here. Of course, Steven is very emotional. He can't control his emotions. How the fuck can you be an adult and not control your emotions? Okay, because like all men, he has no emotional maturity, of course. Only the women have emotional maturity. The men don't. And it's not just Steven. It's every guy in this fucking movie cannot control his emotions. Only the women can. The boss bitches like Liz and Delia, they can control themselves. Because they're strong, tough, and independent and don't need no man. But the men all cry like little fucking bitches. Okay? So that's going on here. This is to make him look immature, okay? Thereby bolstering Liz's decision to leave him. So when you see Steven acting like an immature crybaby here, it's just reinforcing the idea that Liz should leave him. That by divorcing him, even though he's done nothing wrong, is the right thing to do. Don't feel guilty about fucking that, David. No, you did the right thing because look at him. He can't even control himself. You're doing good by getting rid of this asshole. You see what I mean? Even though he did nothing wrong. Okay? Okay, but I'm sure Steven was always this way. Now, I know they're trying to make him look this way because it's his divorce and he's emotional, okay? But I'm pretty sure Steven was always this way. Either way, then why the fuck did you marry him, Liz? He was an immature crybaby like this. Why the fuck did you marry him? What the fuck about this made him so fucking attractive to you? Okay, so who looks worse here? Steven for acting like an immature crybaby? Or Liz for being the one that married him? And since Liz did marry, here's the part that the movie ain't gonna tell you this, but Liz did marry this immature crybaby, okay? So that should tell you something about her decision-making process. So Liz says, like, you're always waiting for me. You're waiting for me to come home. You're waiting for me to have dinner with you. Not cook dinner. You're waiting for me to have dinner with you. You're waiting for me to have kids. Kids. Bitch, you're fucking 43 years old. What are you waiting for kids? What are you talking about kids? You're fucking 43 years old. You're not going to have fucking kids. What kind of guy would ever think that you're going to fucking produce kids at 43 years old? That ship sailed. Okay, so now we're getting to it though, okay? We are getting to it, okay? She doesn't want to have kids. She fucking hates kids. She said that earlier when she questioned her best friend. Why the fuck would you ever have a baby? You see what I mean? So clearly she hates fucking kids, okay? She doesn't want kids. She don't want to be a mom. That's not what she wants to do, okay? But apparently she didn't tell her husband that before she married him. All right. So Liz says, like, just accept that we don't want to live in an unhappy marriage anymore. You're scatterbrained. Just pick something that makes you happy and do that. He's like, well, Liz, I pick you then, okay? I'll pick you. Even though you always treat me like shit. And even though you're fucking another guy right now, because that's what real men do. They pick the woman first. Well, you're acting like the woman, actually, Stephen. But that's right. Liz doesn't know how to write men, so of course every man in these books and movies acts like a woman. Okay. So Liz says, like, I know this is awful for you, but I promise you, Stephen, you will find someone who wants what you want. And I've only wasted 8 years of your life. Stephen's like, you never knew what I wanted. So I'm going to act like all the other limp dick beta male pussies. And I'm going to sing you a song. You're a quitter. 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 Yes, he does this in the fucking movie. Billy Crudup does this in the fucking movie. No emotional maturity at all. So now he's making a scene. Everyone's looking and stuff. Liz is like, okay, shut up. Shut up. I'm tired of pretending to be a couple that we both don't know how to be. It's all my fault, okay? You want to blame me for the marriage? Okay, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. Okay, so clearly they're getting divorced, all right? Okay, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back to continue my review of this piece of crap movie. I thank you very much for watching this long. I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.